We've just sent off to the publisher our new ebook, How to Plan Your Successful Medical Tourism Trip. And before we sent it out to the publisher, we sent it back to the patients on the Traveling for Health community, patients who have gone abroad, to get their feedback on which sections of the book would have been helpful for them, the most helpful, in planning their trip, maybe resulted in a better outcome. So I got some interesting feedback, and I'm going to talk today about one of those tips. It's under the 13 steps for researching the right surgeon for a procedure. And the number one tip there is to involve your local doctor when at all possible. And the reason for that should be obvious. If your local doctor is going to be doing any kind of post-operative care, then they need to be in the loop. The feedback I got on that was really interesting. Here's what the patient said. Are you saying this because of the liability issues, or are you just being polite? Because no one I know would consult their local doctor first, because the local doctor would want to do the work and would advise against going out of the country. So if you get that response from your doctor, don't let that daunt you. You're going to run into people in all industries that are either not educated on medical tourism or negatively biased by disposition. But there is a good reason why a lot of the doctors are not interested in collaborating with foreign doctors, and that's the issue of liability. So please understand that it's easier for them to say no than it is to collaborate. But if you can get their advice and their collaboration, you are so far ahead in your possible outcome. And there are ways to do this. So here's what the situation is. Doctors seem to resist collaboration with other doctors, particularly foreign doctors, if it's the patient who suggests it. Think about it. Professionals in every industry act very much the same way. Lawyers speak to other lawyers differently than they do their clients. So in that regard, here's how you can do this workaround and make it work. Deal with a medical tourism facilitator who is a case manager, because that professional can put the two doctors together and then they can collaborate. See, one of the problems that doctors have in collaborating just based on their patient asking them to is that too many medical tourists come back from their trips and they have no records whatsoever. They don't have the doctor's notes, any surgical notes. They don't even have the prescriptions they were given in the hospital. No wonder the local doctor is like, hands off. I can't do anything with this. I wasn't involved in the loop. So conversely, when you go through a facilitator that's a case manager, that makes all the difference. Read the article, Whatever It Takes to Save Your Daughter. Now, you can Google that, or you can certainly search for it on the Traveling for Health site, because it's a great illustration of a medical tourism facilitator who puts together 3 doctors that never even knew each other. One of them in Baltimore, one of them in Miami, one of them in Israel, all for the benefit to treat a patient that had a serious situation, and this was the good result. So at any rate, that's Traveling for Health's tip for today. Over and out.